Welcome into Bears Now here on Callin. I am Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button on the Callin app, chatsports.com/Bears Callin. If you have not done so already, I'm about to take all of your calls, so stay tuned. Got a lot to get to here on today's show. Eager and ready to see what you guys got to say. So we'll go ahead and start with Jeremy. Welcome in, Jeremy. If you click that mic button in the bottom right, you'll be able to unmute yourself, and we can talk some Bears football.
Hey, what's up, Harrison? How's it going, brother?
Hey, how we doing?
Good, man. So I had a couple of things I wanted to run past you. So, first off, how do you feel about Ereck Flowers and as a possible right guard replacement?
Open to it. I think he's a clear upgrade from what you have. He's not great, but he can be a serviceable guy for a year.
Nice, man. And then I worked at the Hula Bowl as a scouting intern, and I mentioned in one of the super chats about Tariq Carpenter, who ended up going to the Packers. I think he's one guy that the Bears had on their radar, I think, because I talked to one of the scouts for the Bears, Sam Somerville. But in regards to that, I know we got Jaquan Brisker, who is more like a box type of safety. That's what Tariq Carpenter is.
Yeah.
How do you feel about our depth at safety outside of the rookies?
I actually think it's pretty good. I like DeAndre Houston Carson. He's great on special teams, and every time he plays, he seems to make plays. Dane Cruikshank's a pretty good box safety, another good special teams player as well. I'm going to mute you while I finish that answer, Jeremy. Some background noise coming in. Yeah, those are a couple of guys that I like. I think your secondary is the deepest position on the roster, both at corner and safety. So appreciate the questions and appreciate the thought on that one. Let's go to – we got the Bears fan in here as well. He's been a weekly participant. What's up, man? Welcome in. How we doing?
What's up, boss? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Just living the dream.
Dreaming to live. Hey, so here's my question to you, man. Let's say next year our defense is doing pretty good, pretty solid. Secondary is playing real well, but the offense is struggling. Let's say it's a repeat of last year. In your opinion, who do you think will, if this happens, who do you think will deserve most of the blame? Is it the offensive coordinator for not putting together game plans or not making the offense be what it can be? Is it Eberflus for focusing too much on the defense and being a defensive coach? Or do you think it's going to be all on Poles for not, getting the big-time receivers and the big-time names to help out the offense? Who do you think is going to get the blame in the media?
It's a good question. I think you have to add Fields in that conversation, right, as a potential person to blame. If it's a literal repeat of last year in terms of production, I think Fields is going to have to take some blame at that point because – we've said all offseason, this new offense, they'll get them on the move, yada, yada, yada. If the production's the same, that's even though they haven't added a ton around him, that's a bit of a red flag because he will have gotten all the offseason reps, all of the, opportunity to be the starter and to be the guy where he got none of that last year. If he's kind of the same player, I think he would take a lot of blame. If I had to order it, I would probably go, if I had to guess on how the media will react, Fields 1, Poles 2 for not putting enough around him, and then Getsy 3. Getsy might get more of a pass because it is his first year calling plays in the NFL. That would be my guess.
Gotcha. Yeah, I left Fields off because I think if he struggles, I think the media and everybody's going to start pointing to the people that are supposed to put a supporting cast around him and not necessarily his talent because he's already shown flashes of what he can do. That's why off, man, but I appreciate the answer, boss. Have a good one.
All right, you too. And look, just to kind of finish up a couple thoughts on what he just said there. Listen, the reality is it would probably be a combination of coaching, combination of probably should add another receiver, maybe another offensive lineman, and then a combination of Fields not taking that next step. I truly believe Fields getting the entire offseason, hey, you're our guy. You're getting all the reps. We're not even going to have Nick Foles around, because we don't want that lingering. You're the quarterback, okay? You're getting all the starter reps. We're telling the media intentionally how great of a leader and how much improvement you're making. If all that happens and he doesn't improve, I mean, look, as much as I've defended the guy, at that point, even I will have to say, listen, he's still young and still has potential, but he's got to take some blame at this point. So that's the reality of the situation. But I want to ask you guys to get down in the comments on Callin, wherever you're listening or watching, and let us know. Will Justin Fields make improvements this year? I'm not saying he has to be a top 10 quarterback, but will he improve? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Will Justin Fields improve in 2022? I believe he will. Let us know what you guys think. All right, we'll get to our next caller here. We got Tyler Smith, and a couple of people hopped out of the caller queue. Go ahead and hop back in there. We'll get you guys on. But Tyler, welcome in. Appreciate you waiting. What do you got for me?
To add on to what the Bears fan said, I honestly think it might be some of it also might be on the O-line. That Ryan Poles might need to add more O-line.
Yeah, and I think that would go to Poles, right? Because he didn't add enough. I think that's the point he was making. Poles not adding enough. So, yeah, I mean, look, if the offense struggles, I think we'll be able to identify the primary reasons. But without actually seeing it, I'm just guessing, right? I think there'd be plenty of blame to go around if the offense is similar to what it was last year. Luckily, I don't think that'll be the case. All right, next caller, we got Jess in the chat. Jess, welcome in. Feel free to unmute yourself in the bottom right-hand corner, and we can talk some Bears football. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? I just want to say I feel like we have a pretty big weakness on defense that, like, people are kind of, like, ignoring, and that's, like, the three-tech at tackle. Justin Jones is, like, a good stopgap option. He can play for 2 years, good football. But, I mean, Kyrie's Tonga, Angelo Blackson, and hopefully Mario Edwards can, like, produce, like, Akeem Hicks. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's a fair point. And really, you look at their defensive tackle depth, they don't really have a true three-tech. Jones can play some of that, but he's kind of a tweener between a three-tech and a nose. So you value the versatility, but he's not really a true every-down three-tech. So you're kind of asking him to do a lot if that's the case. Maybe Mario Edwards can give you some snaps at three-tech. I'm guessing that's probably part of the plan. Kyrie's Tonga, not a three-tech. He's a nose. Angelo Blackson, not a three-tech. So I'm with you. That's why I'm still open to Ogunjobi. I'm open to, scouring the market to see what else is out there. But I'm also in the camp of, you're not going to fix every position group in this first offseason. So, maybe we just have to live with the fact that the defensive tackle spot might be a little weaker on defense. Good news is secondary is better. Good news is you still have Roquan Smith. I think Nicholas Morrow will be better than Alec Ogletree. So while you could add another linebacker, I think that if Morrow's better than Ogletree, you're better there. And then I think at edge, even without Khalil Mack, you still have some good pass rushers with Quinn, Gibson, and some other pieces. So we'll see what happens on that front. But, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, they talk about how important three-tech is, and still a bit of a question mark. So it's a fair point. Make sure you guys are subscribing on Callin. Hit the sub button. It's free. Weekly shows over here, your opportunity to call in and talk to me directly. We'll go to the next call here. It's Patrick. Patrick, welcome in. Appreciate you guys for waiting. Whenever you're ready, we can talk some Bears football. What's up?
All right, this is going to go back to the draft.
Okay.
Based on actual picks that the Bears had and the players that were available, do you think Poles did the best job he could?
Based on his board, I think the answer is yes. Based on his board. Now, he thinks differently about a player than you do, than I do, than, other front offices do. But I truly believe that Gordon and Brisker, and in fact, this was kind of leaked and unveiled the other day, Gordon and Brisker were the two highest players left on their board when they picked at 39, and they got them both. So they stuck to their board for those first two picks. I'm guessing they reached a little on their board for Velus Jones. I don't know that to be a fact. I'm guessing they reached a bit, but they were clearly higher on him than other teams were. So, it's hard to say what the best they could do truly is, considering these guys haven't even played yet. But I'm pretty confident their first two picks are going to be starters for several years. That's a good thing, even though it's on defense. And if Velus Jones works out, even if he's just like a key role player this year, like he's not a star or anything, but he does a little bit of everything, I think you'd have to consider this draft a success if you found 2 surefire starters and a good role player. Like, that's pretty good for a team not having a first-round pick. So time will tell, but that's how I would answer that question.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, Patrick. By the way, you guys can like the video on Callin. Hit the little thumbs up icon in the bottom right. Like the video in general. That would be a big help. If you're enjoying today's show, go ahead and like today's show. Jeremy Hood is next up here. Jeremy, welcome in, and let's talk some Bears football.
Yeah, I just had another question regarding Dazz Newsome. Do you think the addition of Velus Jones kind of washes him out of the thing? I know they didn't draft him, but I feel like,
I'm still open-minded.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm still open-minded when it comes to Dazz Newsome. I don't know how the regime feels about him. I liked him coming out of North Carolina. When they drafted him in the 6th-round pick last year, I was like, ooh, that's a sneaky good pick. He's a good speed guy, good returner as well. Now, he's expendable if his main role is as a returner now, because Velus Jones – I assume is going to do a lot of that. And you have a lot of options at kick return as well. So he's going to have to prove himself as a receiver. But I'm open-minded to him. I would like to see him compete hard at camp and earn a roster spot. I think, there's going to be good competition at the wide receiver position on this roster. Let me ask you guys this question. Will Dazz Newsome make the Bears 53-man roster? Type M for make, type W for won't. I think it's possible that he could. We'll just have to wait and see once we get into camp. He's obviously going to have to prove himself. All right, we'll get to a caller here, and it is Chicago Sports something. Welcome in. Unmute yourself in the bottom right-hand corner, and we'll be good to go. What's up?
So who is your number one position need on offense and defense?
My number one player on offense and defense?
No, the number one position the Bears need on offense.
What they need? I'll go offensive line, specifically right guard, but maybe tackle as well, but O-line still. And then defense, it's either linebacker or defensive tackle. I'll probably lean defensive tackle. So I would say in the trenches on both sides, they could add a piece or two. So appreciate the question, and appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us here on Callin. Be sure to hit that sub button and join us every single week.